Five people.
Okay. Okay. Right. So we should be in streaming. Yes. Okay, right. So hi everyone. How are you?
Well, thanks so much.
Did you spend a good fortnight?
Yeah, we did. It's very few of us today, yeah?
Did you spend a good fortnight? A fortnight is 14 nights, which means 15 days, 2 weeks.
Oh.
2 weeks. A fortnight. Okay, so Adriana, Eliana, Antonella, and Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
Why only you? What about the
Yeah,
other?
very few of us today.
Yes, where's everyone?
I saw that someone wrote on the chat, I mean on the WhatsApp chat,
Yeah.
and one left, and the other one wrote she's going to follow the recording. She won't be here.
Driving might be a few minutes late. That's Pier Francesco.
Yeah.
Stefania. Non riesco proprio a seguire le lezioni, Stefania. Oh, how sad. I'm going to, yeah, all right. Oh, well. So, do you think...
I'm sorry, I have to say you beforehand that I have to leave at 6:15.
Yes,
I have a family problem that I cannot solve in a few minutes, so they need me. So I'm sorry, I have to leave.
Don't worry, Adriana. Do whatever you can, of course. Now, do you think it's worth starting, or should we wait a couple of minutes more? Do you want to tell me something in the meantime? I don't know. Did you find the first lesson, the last one we did, useful? In my opinion, we, covered quite a few, topics which can be definitely useful to you. Like, what did we do? We talked about dyslexia a lot, and we talked about homework. Adriana rightly suggested a contract with the students, something like, I'm going to give you very few homeworks, but of course I expect you to do them, and in case they can't do the homework once, okay, they have to do the homework for the following time. In case in the whole period, of course, in a term at least, in quadrimestre come minimo, a term at least, they can't do it twice. 3 times it's a bad mark, because it means there's something not correct on their part. So yes, I found your idea, Adriana, very useful, the contract with the students.
Yeah. In the end we agreed on 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah, because I put on the table my opinion, and then I leave them decide. I mean, they cannot move widely, but they have a certain freedom to decide. And normally they tend to be strict to themselves. They tend to be right. So when
they check each other.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say I give you 5. No, that's too much, teacher. So I normally put a high number, and I say 5, 6. They say no, 3, 4. So that's I gain I go straight to my aim. Okay. So with the first class, la prima media, I agreed with 4, and with the second and third, we agreed on 3.
Yeah.
And they stick to the point. They do stick to the point after that.
Good, because they find it's their decision, and they have to live, on it, keep it up. Yes, but at the same time, I pray you keep your word. If you promise something, never let them down, because they will remember that. So do not make any promise you're not sure to keep. And if you make a promise, keep it. If you can't keep it, tell them why, and explain what's been the problem, for example, and why you can't do that, and maybe suggest a compensation, something to make up for it. Because yes, I mean, respect is at the basis of any a human relationship, and they are growing, and they are starting to understand what all this means. And you have to give them, you know, how can I say, the example. So that's my opinion. What do you think about it? Hello?
Yes, I agree. Yes, I'm here. I agree with you. Yes, I always try to keep my promise, although it is not always possible. And when it is not possible, I do explain to them why it is not possible.
Exactly, exactly.
But
Because
normally, if I make a promise, I keep it, because it's very important. If you want them to trust you, you must keep your promises. Always keep
exactly,
your promises.
exactly. And you know what? It often happens that to, how can I say, to skip some, I don't know, bad decision at the moment, you promise to do it the next time. For example, I don't know, children asking you, can we go out in the courtyard for the lesson? And you maybe tell them, no, not today, maybe next time. Don't you think they will not remember next time, because of the following time they will expect to go out? So do not make promises. What's happening? Oh, hi Marina, welcome.
Ciao.
So my suggestion is, do not make promises that you know in advance you will not be able to keep. Or anyway, if you make a promise and then you're not able to keep it, explain why you're not able, and show them that you're sorry you're not able to keep it, and it's not your fault. But do not cheat them saying, no, we can't go out today, maybe because it's raining, because the following time when it's sunshine, they will ask again, can we go out? It's sunshine now, it's not raining now. So, or if you say, no, we're not going today, but we're going next time, the following time, they expect to go out. So do not make promises.
Perché la Commissione lascia ampio spazio alla scelta delle scuole, perché le scuole stanno utilizzando diversi canali per fare le mobilità virtuali, quindi in applicazioni potreste utilizzare anche gli
Okay, there was something I muted, Dodi, but I don't know. Okay, anyway, I muted it. I muted this iPad, Dodi's iPad, whoever is Dodi.
quindi se ci saranno dei...
Okay, sorry. Anyway, yes, because sometimes when you're, you know, many things in your head, many things to do, and they ask for something, and to keep them quiet, you simply say something like, we'll do it next time. But it's not a good idea, because the following time they will remember what you have promised, and you will lose, you know, how can I say, they will not trust you anymore. So that's another point. What else did we talk about last time? Okay, so homework. Yeah, not too many, because there's life beyond school. These children also needed to do something different than study, because it's important for them to grow up in all aspects of their life, both the social, sport, whatever they like, basically. Somebody may like playing music, somebody may like doing sports, somebody may like simply read or relax, or in this period, they need the time to simply relax and think about themselves. So because it's a period of changing in their, how can I say, even body growth, and they need, you know, some how can I say, blank periods, some periods of simply, you know, relaxing and listening to to themselves, basically. I don't know how to explain it because I'm no psychologist, but in this period, the middle school period from 11 to 14, when they're growing up, you can often see them all alone, silent, simply listening to themselves. They need periods of quiet. Yes, except to those periods. So not too many homeworks, please. They needed to do something else beyond the school. What else did we do last time? I can't remember. Oh, did I tell you about dyslexia? We talked a lot about dyslexia, but I'm not sure we talked about ADHD, which is a syndrome. It's often linked with other problems like dyslexia, this kind of things. What does it stand for? ADHD.
I know it.
Attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. Thank you. There was my daughter passing by, and she's studying psychology. She knows all these things. So what was it, Caroline? Active?
Attention deficit.
Attention deficit.
Yes.
Attention
And hyperactivity disorder.
Deficit and hyperactivity disorder. Thank you. Anyway, so that's another point. There are quite a number of children that also have ADHD, which is simply a matter of they need to move a lot. So in this case, why not allowing them to have, for example, I don't know, an anti-stress ball, something to, maybe crush or with their hands, because that helps them to concentrate. Or something like, I don't know, some kind of games they can do with their hands while listening to you. Don't think it's how can I say, it's a lack of respect. It isn't. Most of the times it's simply that they need to do something while listening to you, because simply sitting still and listening is too much for them. They need to do something. So except if they play with their hands somehow, maybe a pen, they keep doing like this, or allow them to have a ball, anti-stress ball, to how can I say, yes, to steam off, basically. To steam off, farli, come si può dire in italiano, steam off, farli sfogare, diciamo, to steam off, because it becomes much easier for them to listen to you if they have something, they can play with. So do not think it's a lack of respect towards you. It isn't. Sometimes they simply need to move and do something. Do you agree with it? What's your opinion? Adriana, you're a specialist on this, I know.
Yeah, I've got two terrible kids like that. It's really, really very, very heavy to keep on going with them in the classroom. And they do have the transitional object. Okay, that's the name. They have the transitional object. Can be a rubber. They normally destroy a rubber piece by piece, little by little. They have scissors, which I must keep an eye on, because
that's more dangerous.
Yeah, they normally use the scissors. I just keep an eye on it. Yeah. They do have something, and one of the kids, it was really nice last time, because he was really doing a mess on the desk, and I was I don't remember what, but I was saying something important. And so I said, can you please stop it? And he answered back, but I can listen better to you if I can have something in my hands. So, haha, much to the point, I know it. But he did remind it to me, which was very nice because it wasn't arrogant. It was just much to the point.
Yeah.
I know that. The problem is now, in this precise moment, the problem is wearing a mask, because we do have to wear a mask and they tend to skip it. And this is a problem. I can bear the fact that they have got difficulties in wearing a mask, but it is an order and we must stick to it.
Why do you have to wear a mask?
In our classroom, it's obligatory now. We have to wear a
Oh,
mask.
the face mask, you mean? Oh, sorry. I was thinking about Halloween and then Carnival. And why do they have to wear a mask? Oh, yes, sorry. The face mask. Yes, sorry. Oh, yes.
So it's
Yeah.
compulsory at the moment. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes.
and also, the problem is when they make noise, because when they just
Yeah.
tap, 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 like
Yeah,
that. Okay.
exactly.
50 minutes like that. It's not my problem because I can bear it. It's the students' problem.
Yes. Yes, the other students would be very much annoyed and distracted by this, and they need to understand this. You respect their needs, but they need to respect the other people's needs. And if the other peoples cannot concentrate because they are making too much noise, they have to keep that in mind and be, do something silent, more silent, like breaking, destroying a rubber, for example. Yes, so this is basic. They have to understand that they deserve respect, and the others deserve to be respected as well. And this is very important, socially speaking. You know what I'm thinking? These ADHD people sometimes need sugar more than the others. If you, I don't know, if a normal child eats something sweet, a chocolate or something sweet, they get a lot of energies and become, how can I say, even more active. But with ADHD people, sometimes it's the opposite. It's the lack of sugar which makes them more nervous and anxious and willing to, move.
You mean sugar? You mean sugar with glucose?
Yes, yes.
Not
Something sweet.
not metaphorical, and you're not metaphorical sugar.
No. No. I mean real sweet things, chocolate, candies.
I don't know, but I think
something like this.
I know it's difficult. Also because the other students sometimes complain about that, and I give the two kids. I have two terrible kids, two ADHD. Really, wow, very heavy. Yeah. Because I had the one in the past, and he wasn't that bad, but the two I have now, wow, they're really terrible. And the other kids complain also because we have a lot of obligations this year, specifically this year. So it's really difficult, and they need to move frequently, and they need to make noise, and they are never attentive. So
I know.
Yes, it's an effort.
Okay, as I told you, why don't you make them do what they best like? Of course, according to the lesson. For example, if you are explaining, I don't know, the future tense, to make an example, after having told them and shown them how it works and so on, why don't you let them do something they like? For example, somebody may want to write a song or write a story, and maybe they might want to do something which keeps them engaged somehow, like producing something materially, or I don't know, because in doing this, everybody feels, how can I say, more, they feel more, they feel they are happier in a way to accept, you know, other people doing even something a little bit noisy or disturbing, because they themselves, they are doing something different, which they like. So maybe this is a way to create a good atmosphere, allowing these people to move and do what they needed to do, basically, because they needed to do that. It's not a matter of yes, a lack of respect. Sometimes it's a matter of a need, physical need, you know. They needed to move, and so they may, I don't know, invent something, create something in which they move and do what, and at the same time the others can do the same in a quieter way, because they are quieter children.
They aren't quieter, that's the problem.
Oh.
So you are a boost. If you put something like that in my class, it's a boost, okay? Then you have the anarchia. You are totally anarchia.
No, but if they concentrate on doing something they like, they might calm down.
Yeah, but I can do, you know, I partially agree on that, because especially for the kid in class 3, okay, so the one I have in class 1, classe prima, okay, we care for him, we are trying to introduce him, to let him find his place, okay, but the one who is in classe terza, I partially agree on that, because in a few months he will be facing the world outside, and the world outside is not so kind if you are a pain in the neck, okay?
I know.
Not so kind. So I think we have to work, I mean, we, all the teachers, not only me.
Of course, yes.
And the family, we have to work on extending, yes, I don't find the word, sorry, aumentare,
him, yeah.
Increase the attention span. He has an attention of, let's say, 3 minutes, and the word aside does not allow you to have an attention of 3 minutes. Okay, so we must work on that, but not because I am the teacher, but for your future kid, future, not for my future.
Yes, you definitely have to work on that, but you will not obtain anything by simply imposing this thing.
No, yes, I know that.
So yes,
I use my always system, an agreement. Okay, so now today is 3 minutes, but tomorrow must be 4, and then it must be 5. And I put a cross on the paper that we have a special paper within us. And if you don't reach it, I make a sad face. And if you do, all that. But yes, but it's a big effort especially this year, in between the tons of things we have to do for the COVID. Adding that, it's really heavy, and I start to feel tired.
Yeah, I can imagine, because it's extra job for you, of course, you know. But I think they need these, even, how can I say, shorter time rewards, or, anyway, valuation. Because if you make it too long, they will forget the aim. Shorter time evaluation keep them, to the point. So it's a good idea to give them a smiling face or a sad face at the end of the hour, or anyway of the lesson, because I think they need it. They need it. They won't be able to consider, what's good for them for the whole term. At the end of the term, I'll get a bad mark. Who cares at the end of the term? It's centuries away for them, But at the end of the lesson, I can get a smiling face or a sad face. That's different, So yes, while helping them to make their attention time longer, consider that you have to give them evaluation at a much shorter time than the others, because they need it. And you know what? Usually these people are they fix on something. For example, they like a certain kind of a movie and they see it many times and they know everything about the characters and the actors and so on and so on. So try and use those things for your goals, for your aims. So if, for example, if you are doing the future form, and you know that they like the movie, I don't know, so and so, ask them to predict what could happen if blah, blah, blah. Or maybe the next episode, or I don't know, something like that, you know. So try to work on their fixations because these people tend to be, how can I say, hyper fixed on something, on some topic. Somebody may be a movie for someone, maybe, I don't know, a character they look up to for others. So try to work on that. That's also usually a useful thing. It normally works. What do you think? Anybody else has, I don't know, experiences with ADHD students? How did you treat that problem? Or how are you treating it? It's so sad having to talk in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blank black squares.
You are right, sorry.
Oh, hi, hello. Nice to see you. So, yes, Claudia, do you want to say something?
The problem of this type of student is for all of us. I usually ask them to go to the whiteboard, to drag some picture, to connect picture and word, to involve them. But it's not so easy. Sometimes they seem tired or bored, and you have to make them move.
Yes, they need to move.
Yes.
But sometimes it's enough to have them move their hands somehow instead of moving around the classroom, you know?
Yes, go to the blackboard and, I don't know, write an animal that some student describe. So 4 legs, 1 head, 3 noses.
Hi, Ivo.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Hypothesis, I don't know, hypothesis, that's an hypothesis of solution, but anybody has got a solution, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear from you. What do you usually do with these? Hi, Pier Francesco, welcome. We're talking about ADHD students who need to keep moving and, you know, who need to, they have very short time of attention and they need to keep moving. So how do you treat them? That's the idea. Yeah. And yes, sometimes, as I was telling you before, it's not necessary. If you can have them move in the classroom, go to the blackboard, go to the bin, basket bin, go to the window, go to the door, perfect. But even if you can't, they may let them move their hands, like destroying a rubber or playing with the anti-stress ball or some kind of a game that simply keep them, you know, moving their hands, because sometimes that's enough. And they will be able to concentrate more if they keep moving, even only their hands. Any other idea? And then, as I told you, sometimes they simply need sugar, because they need more sugar than the rest of the children. If you give sugar, chocolate, sweet things to a child, he or they normally, he or she, they normally start, being energetic and active, more active. On the contrary, if somebody has an ADHD problem, with sugar, they calm down. Because I can't remember why, but that's the point.
This point is very interesting. I didn't know. But remember that we cannot give food to the students. We're not allowed to do that.
No, you're not allowed to give them food, but you can let them eat their own food.
I would ask the family about that. It's very interesting. I didn't know that point. And I will ask the mother. We have got a very attentive mother. She's really a caretaker. And so I will ask. And I forgot that we also have to bear the complaining of the janitors, because around their desk, it's always a mess. It's like a dustbin, okay? And so the janitors normally do not understand and they complain with us. And so we have got also to keep with that. And so that's really heavy.
Yeah, I know. Actually, yes, sometimes most of the problems come from the parents of the other children or of the same children, because they do not accept their child being different, being treated differently. Or sometimes the other parents, the other children's parents, do not accept, somebody different in their class. Uh-oh, what's happening? Oh, Ivo, we're looking at your screen. Can you stop sharing your screen, Ivo, please?
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, I know. Parents can be a help, but most of the times they're not a help. They are a problem themselves.
Okay.
Well, I think. Yes,
they're not supposed to eat in class. We do not allow them to eat anything, a sweet or a chocolate, apart from the break times.
Why not? Why not? I mean, if somebody's thirsty, why shouldn't they drink some water? It can
they
be.
They are not allowed, actually.
No, I leave them drink. I normally leave them drink, because it's not a prison, but they are not allowed to eat apart from the breaks.
Yeah, well, why not? If they do it quietly, without disturbing everyone, without making noise in opening their packets and asking, do you want some, would you like some, but doing quietly by themselves when they feel they need it. I mean, it could be a good thing, because sometimes, sometimes children go to school without even having had breakfast.
I know. I'm always telling them that they must have breakfast in the morning, but it's a rule. And you see, at this age, as you previously said, it's very, very, we must pay a lot
stick to the rules.
Yeah, not also, it's not just to stick on the rule, because we can break the rules. It's not that the point, but they look at each other, and making differences, it's always a bad point to start with. Okay, so, and also the psychologist exactly 1 week ago said that we must not treat the kid I was telling you before, we must not treat him differently.
No,
we are not, because he will lose his self-esteem, and so blah blah blah, a long speech about that. So we are not going to treat him differently, and eating is not allowed it. And if I make a difference, the other kids will point it out, and so it's not, I'm not going to do that, definitely.
I absolutely agree with you. As a matter of fact, my idea was not to allow them to eat, to allow everybody to eat and drink something when and if they need it. I mean,
have a mess in my class.
Sorry?
I will have a mess in my class, a completely disaster if I allow anybody to do that. Okay. So,
well, if they do it silently, without disturbing anyone, and only when they need it, of course, not as a way to, lose time.
I only do that, and I explained to the class why, with the boy who has diabetes. Okay. because he
Again,
needs to
yes.
do that. He needs sugar. That's a compulsory. It's the doctor's
Prescription.
order. Yeah, the prescription. So of course we do that, and the other kids know why, but it won't be understandable for them. It won't be understandable for a kid who has no medical problem. So. Okay, we must be very, very careful with that. Okay, with making differences.
Yes,
Also in giving them the test. Why my test is on 2 pages and the other is on 1? Okay, so that's the point. So I don't do that.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with you. That's why I was telling you, give all of them the same, possibility, explaining them that I mean, they can do it as long as they do not disturb the others, and if it's necessary for them. I mean, they should try to how can I say, self regulate and see if they really need it or not, and if they can wait.
Self-regulation is not top point. It's not, definitely not. Not in the teens. Self-regulation, far away, far away.
Man, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. Even with the toilets, for example, there are people who, if you allow them to go to the toilet, keep asking, can I go to the toilet? Can I go to the toilet? But most of them would ask only if they need it. Maybe they need it only to walk a little while. But anyway, not continuously. Only if they feel they need to go to the toilet, most of the times. I mean, I know it's a difficult age, but especially on the 3rd year, I mean, yes, they are becoming adults, and you cannot expect them to behave like an adult unless you treat them like an adult. And so, I don't know. For the 1st year, you're right. They're absolutely too young to self-regulate. But at the 3rd year, 14 years of age, I think they should start to see if something is really necessary for them, or if they can wait, or if this can be disturbing to the others, and so on. And since our main problem is with the 3rd year boy, class, generally speaking, maybe you should start to,
Yes,
I don't
no, I
know.
won't do that, Maria Pia. Explain why I won't do that, because it's a school rule, okay? And
Okay.
all the other colleagues, we are in Consiglio di classe, of course. All the other colleagues avoid it, and so I'm not going to break this.
No, if it's something you have decided as a team.
Not, it's the school regulation. It's further
Yes.
above that. It's the school regulation.
Yeah, if it's a school regulation, I mean, there's nothing to say about it, because of course it's a rule and it's a part of the school rules. But yes, anyway, that was an idea. Any other idea to help these students and the rest of the class, with them? Nobody has got an idea? Dear Francis, Claudia,
Okay,
yes.
sorry. Sometimes I take them to the playground of the school. For example, when they have lesson from 1 to 2 o'clock, it's very tiring for them. So I make small groups, yes, wearing the protective mask, and they have to create dialogue, so they are in the open air and they feel better, and it's very useful. Lots of my colleagues do the same things.
Yes, dramatizing what you're learning, playing roles and so on, can be a good idea, because they have to move, they have to participate, and at the same time they are learning what you want them to learn. So yes, these kind of things like dramatizing, role playing, usually I mean, sometimes they might work better than written exercises or listening activities or more quieter things. So yes, that's a good idea. Yeah. Pier Francesco usually has very good, bright ideas
No.
because he watches things from a different point of view, being a teacher of music.
Yeah.
So,
But can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can.
Because I always have to change the setup of my audio because
That's perfect with a microphone.
Okay. Yeah, because I have a computer able to record also instruments, so I have to change sometimes from instrument to voice.
Ah,
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, I am a little different, as I told you last week. For the kind of the discipline I teach, and also for the scheduled time, I always am in school in the afternoon instead of my colleagues are
In the morning.
also in the morning. So I see the school from a different point of view. In the morning, everything, every room, everything is crowded, and in the afternoon there's few people. We are 4 instrument teacher, violin, flute, piano, and guitar, and a few other. So we are very lucky because we can we have single students. I mean, we are also.
You work with the single students.
Yes,
you
we
work
have
individually.
Yeah, individually, and this is a very good because we can know better each one of them. We also have music groups, but not a lot. At this time, with the COVID, is better because we.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel I'm sorry for all my colleagues, but I prefer to be one. I mean, why
I'm happy to work online.
Yes. No, we are working in presence. Is that correct? In presence.
Yes, but individually.
Individually, yeah. Our room is not very large, but for 2 person, it's quite large enough. So that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else wants to contribute to the strategies of how to calm down maybe ADHD people or simply lively students?
Hello, I'm Eliana.
Hi, Eliana.
Hello, I'm a support teacher. So I always work with students with diseases.
Special needs.
Yes, special needs. And when the disability is severe, it's very difficult to work with these students. But I noticed that it always depends on the relationships between the teachers and the students.
Yep.
Some teachers are able to involve them, and they need to be considered.
Yes.
I think that is the problem.
Yeah. How would you involve a student, a very lively student, or a student with a disease like ADHD?
Some teachers organize plays. Well, not now, not in this moment, because in this period we are not going in presence. We are at home, but in the middle school there are only the students with disease.
I see. So you're already working online? Are you already working online?
I live in Puglia.
Ah, that's why.
We have different problems.
Okay,
So
okay.
yes, we are waiting for another ordinanza. I don't know how to
Yes.
say. Yes. So in the
city
school, there are the teachers and only the students with special needs. Special needs. Yes.
Ah,
And
I
it's
see.
very, very sad.
It
now.
is, yes, it is very sad.
Yes, yes, yes. I
What
have I stay in the classroom with one student and a girl, and the other students are at home, and that's terrible, terrible. Our governatore doesn't understand what we are doing in the classroom.
Yeah, and can you at least see them through a video, or are you connected to
We can
them?
see, yes, we can see them, but they cannot see us. Yes.
Oh, what a mess.
Yeah, yeah. So when in a normal periods, some teachers bring toys and, as you said before, something that can be used by the students, but which cannot disrupt the others.
Yes, something they can handle silently, without disturbing the others.
And
something they can handle silently.
Yes. Working in groups is the better strategy.
Definitely better. It's so sad being all alone.
Sorry?
Yeah. Yes, it's so sad being all alone in the classroom with the teacher.
Yes, but sorry, remind that she's talking about the Legge 104, okay? Are you talking about that, Eliana?
Not only Legge 104, also DSA, I don't know how to say it in English.
DSA, right, dyslexic.
Yes, certified people, yes, they are, but also BES, they are at school.
Oh,
they are at school?
Yes, especially.
Yeah? Are they at school? Oh, that's sounds nice.
Yes.
Really
that's terrible. It's like the old
Scuola speciale, the old scuola speciale.
Yes, that's terrible.
Because sorry, Maria Pia, I forgot to tell you that in we have the supporting teachers only for Legge 104, okay? Right?
Yes,
only for severe mental retardations. So that's the point of the law. But in the class where I have the hyperactive boy, okay, we have also 3 dyslexic kids, and we do not have a supporting teacher because we do not have a Legge 104, okay? So we have 5 or 6 best students with special needs, okay, without a supporting teacher. So, okay, that's the class.
That's very hard. That's very hard because, I mean, children with the special needs require a lot of attention. So if there's a supporting teacher, it's so much easier. Otherwise, you have to take care of the whole class, and plus these specific, special needs students. It's very difficult, I know. Yeah.
For example, today I left school at 12 o'clock, and they stayed there the other teachers stayed there until 2 o'clock p.m. So they had 2 hours with the boy attending my classroom, the boy with the special needs, 2 DSA, and the other students at home in video lessons. And they had to pay attention to everyone.
All of them.
But my hours cannot cover all the day. So
no, of course not. Of course not.
That's terrible.
That's crazy.
Yes, crazy.
No, I mean, the aim was good. I do not understand the DSA students because they are not covered by the supporting teacher. So I do not understand the DSA students in presence, okay? But the aim of the point of the law was to give the disabled children, I mean the 104, okay, an opportunity to have lessons, because when we went into the terrible dad last year, I mean, not last year, this year in the last school year, okay, we lost them completely. We lost them. So I think that the aim was a good one, to have something for them at school, but maybe it is not possible. Maybe the aim was good on the paper, but effectively it is not that good.
Yeah. Yes. The idea at the base was a good idea, but then practically it wasn't easy to implement, because how can you do it? Yeah, I can imagine. Yes. Anyway, in the meantime, I looked up on the dictionary the word ordinanza, and it's simply order. So regional order. Government order. Ordinanza is translated as order.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So thanks to you. Useful for me as well. I didn't know how to translate ordinanza, so I looked it up in the meantime. But in the Veneto region, we are still in presence, aren't we? Even with the third year of middle school.
We don't know how long, but we are still in presence.
At least for the following 2 weeks. For 2 weeks more at least. Almeno per altre 2 settimane dovremmo essere in zona gialla. Okay, anybody else wants to say something? Ivo, tell us something.
Okay. When I was a teacher at Lyceum, we wrote a drama on Galilei and invented a character for a young girl whose latter difficulty on spelling.
Yes.
She was terrible in that, but the character was a phantomas of Giordano Bruno, who appeared in the scene to speak something inviting. No, she had to say only, "Don't go to Rome. Don't go to Rome." And it was fantastic because she felt involved in the drama.
Yes, exactly. She took part in the drama.
Yes,
and
yes.
Yeah. Sometimes, yes, yes. They needed to be involved, of course.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this idea of having them going to school and the rest of the class at home. Oh my God, my God. But at the same time, I can understand leaving them at home, you lose them. I know it's difficult. Maybe the idea, the better idea was that 70% students at home, 25% in presence. So at least there wasn't only one person, at least 3-4 of them.
In my opinion, the best idea would be to leave the decision to the people who know the kids. Okay, so teachers, the dirigente, okay, the headmaster. So if you have someone who is really severe and he risks to lose everything staying at home, do have him at school, him or her at school. But in the other cases, if we have families taking care of them and who can have a distance online connection, they are the same as the other. Why not? So I don't see the point in ordering that. The ordinanza should be looser than that, because it's really stupid to force someone to go to school if there is no need.
Yeah. Yeah, but yes, how can you have the supporting teacher with them? you give everything to the parents and forget about the
if you can, okay, you are the same kid as the others if you have the possibility to follow. Okay, I mean the SR students are not different. They do not have specific didactic for them. They can follow the ordinary didactic with supporting strategies and on. We know that. We talked about that last time. So why not? I mean, I don't see the point. But for some severe disabled kids, I mean, Down or severe Down syndrome or like that, maybe it's better for them to keep, you know, their routine, get up in the morning, go to school, have your normal routine, even though at school there are a few kids. But only the teachers or the families who know them perfectly know the best for them. Okay.
Yeah.
What the ordinance?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, yes, probably you're right. These things should be left at the decision of the people who really know them. Yeah, maybe. One thing, it's severe, it's severe, grave disease, a severe disease, a severe situation. So, yes, maybe yes. But it's always the same story. A rule must be a general rule. If you, I mean, yeah, general rule could be.
It's very easy, Maria Pia. It's very easy. Instead of you must, you can put you are allowed to, right? Kids are allowed to go to school, so that you open the door to them, but it's not forcing. Okay, that's different.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe yes. I don't know what's all behind it, because sometimes we have no idea what's behind all of these things. There might be, I don't know, school caretakers, trade unions against it, or teachers, trade unions, or, you know, or simply whenever you leave something to the willing of someone, sometimes it doesn't work, because other people complain this and that, you know. So, for example, I find it very, very stupid for the teachers to go to school to connect with their children, with their students who are at home. Online teaching now consists in the teacher having go to school to connect to the students, and it's absolutely crazy, because, for example, I've got everything in my computer. If I go to school and use the computer school, I don't have all the materials, all the tools I've got in my computer. Moreover, normally, almost always, the school connections are terrible.
I've got the answer to that.
Yeah.
When I heard about that, it seemed completely crazy to me, right? So
Yeah.
I agree with you. But then I talked to my brother, and my brother works in a liceo, right? I do not tell you which one, because it would be a very bad publicity for that, and we are recorded, okay? But it said that 90% of the teachers left and went away during the DAD, and they did not do anything from home. Okay, so I do understand the head teacher saying, I know now I want all the teachers at school so that I can control them and have them here at school. It's a pity talking about my category of teachers, okay, but that was completely true. It happened, okay? And it happened.
What do you mean they didn't do any lessons? I mean,
they did nothing during the DAT from the March, April, and May. They did nothing. Exactly nothing for their students, okay? Right? In a liceo, that was in a liceo.
I mean, that's easily checkable if anyone checks with the student.
Okay, I do not want to talk about that because it can be misunderstood, right? But it happened. So now I understand the teacher who says, I want everybody here. I do understand.
Yeah, anyway, just a second, Barbara, and then I'll leave it to you. Just consider then having to keep a school open means central heating, school caretakers and personnel in charge, staff in charge, and it's a cost, and it's, I mean, okay, sorry, Barbara, you go on.
I agree with you, Maria Pia, because it is easier now to work at home because we have made experience in the last spring, so we have done a lot of material we could use now. I can understand in the last spring we had difficulties in preparing lessons because we were pioneers in a way. We had to invent it. Now we could use it, and maybe we should work better at home. I personally, I'm from Scuole Medie, so I don't have to work at home, but my daughter is working from home, and I think she's working well, I think. I hope. Yeah. Anyway.
And anyway, it's easy to check. Simply ask the teachers to record the lessons.
Yeah.
Okay, Maria Pia, it's not here the place to talk about that. But first, when you talked to me about that, and I asked also some other colleagues from Scuola Superiore, okay, I was so taken aback. I was a little surprised about that. And in the end, I was disgusted, okay? Because here we are talking to a group of teachers doing their duties every single day and doing more than their duties. But we have to consider that we are not all the same, and there have been teachers that did not do their duty, okay? So I do understand some head teacher who say, I want you here. I do understand.
Well, I mean, as I tell you, there are other ways to check if somebody's doing their duty or not, but it's okay. Let's forget about this.
It depends on the headmaster.
Yes, if they want to check, they can check easily.
Yes, yes.
Easily.
Responsibility.
Without having to keep the school open and everything, because I mean, it's anyway. Let's change topic. Anything else you want to talk about?
Okay, Antonella. Hi, I can talk about my students with special needs, if you want. This year I have only one AHDH student in my classes, and it's not an heavy situation, but sometimes he started to scream during the lesson, and the other students are disturbed. He needs to move himself frequently, and his concentration is very short.
Very short, yes.
So I decided to try to treat him calmly and patiently, and I tried to create a calm situation in the class, because I think this is the most important thing. Because he wanted to be treated calmly, and he wanted to be only one of the students of the class, not a different student. So I decided to treat him calmly like the other students. And he is very proud. He wants the same exercise during the tests, and the evaluation are good. And the most important thing is that he wanted to feel good, and it is important for me.
Yes, definitely. Why don't you adopt a strategy like, I don't know, having a song, maybe make them choose a song, and when this person goes crazy, start with the music and have everyone singing, or I don't know, clapping or doing something, so that he can steam off that way, you know, and be part of the group.
It is an idea. But he is very proud, and he wants to be like the other student.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
a day I asked him if he wants that I read the book, the test, but he answered that he wants to be to do it himself by himself.
By himself.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I mean, that's okay. I mean, perfect. Nevertheless, you need to have a strategy when they go crazy, because I mean, yeah, you can't simply let him scream and go crazy and wait for him to stop. So an idea could be make him cry for something like singing, for example.
Yes,
Or,
yes. I think each students are different. So
yes.
you have to decide in not a general rule, but a specific rule for each student.
Definitely. I absolutely agree. But of
Yes.
course, suggestions can be useful sometimes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, these lessons are meant to, talk to each other in English so as to practice English, and at the same time give each other suggestions on what to do and how to behave when and what to do when and so on and so on. So yes.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
before I forget, I needed to write down who's here and who isn't. Otherwise, you know what I can do actually? I can take a picture of the names and then I can write down who's in the lesson and who isn't. Because otherwise, Stefano will rebuke me. I told you to write down who's here.
Smile. Smile.
Smile. Black
Black
videos.
screen smiling.
How can black monitors smile? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to draw at least a smile on black?
My video, you wish.
Oh, that's Barbara, you're smiling there. Right. Okay. So what else? About the tests. Another suggestion I feel like, giving you, or at least talking to you about, is I would try and give and put my tests in a quiet period for the students, because it can be very stressing having 7, 8 tests in the same week, maybe even oral tests. They can become nervous and anxious, and it can be very stressing. So why don't you try to make a very early one, maybe to check what they remember, and then having your tests in a different period from the others, so as to give the children the possibility to concentrate on your test and maybe leave your subject for a week when they have to concentrate on the other subjects. What do you think about it?
Well, I think that there is only one test per day, of course, and we hope not many tests in a week, because they have 30 hours a week. So I think that if they have just one test each day, it is enough. Then
Yes, one
it
a
may
day.
happen maybe in the final days of the term, they maybe have more than one test, because we did not manage to organize it better in a way. I think they should learn. I personally think from the first year of primary school to organize that, and to say you don't have to study just the day before, just
Yeah.
like they do in a way.
Yes, they should learn to program in advance ahead, but honestly, who does?
But we don't know, as adults, that maybe not, we don't know, we ourselves. But
Yeah, yes, exactly. I don't do it myself. I'm always late in doing everything.
Convince them to do.
Yeah.
As educators, maybe.
Yes,
As
yes.
parents
We should.
first, as educators secondly, and what? It may happen. Then there can be more than one test, but it is an exception. Exception, right?
An exception, yes,
And
but
not the rule.
Yeah, but my idea is even one test per day is a lot, because it means 5-6 tests a week, and then there are the oral tests and the homeworks. So it may, it may all become very, how can I say, stressing for the children.
Yes.
Having to do the homework and having to study for the oral test, plus there's the written test, it can be very stressing for them.
Yes, but it does not happen every week anyway. It may happen.
Exactly. So my idea is, instead of concentrating the tests of all subjects in that same week, why don't you, as a single teachers, kind of switch off from the rest of the other subjects, anticipate or posticipate, but easier to anticipate your tests, so that so as to start maybe a little earlier, and from that moment on you will always be how can I say, in advance than the rest. And I think it could be useful for your students. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Normally I'm a little late. That's the point, not a little early.
Okay, a little late as well.
Yes, sometimes it's not easy, because for instance, in a classe prima, I have 3 lessons per week, okay? And 2 of them are quinta ora, the last hour, okay? So I will never put a test on there. So I have only one chance to get a test, okay? And so sometimes it's difficult to say, okay, we skip a week, maybe next week on the same day there is the math test, okay? So it's not, as an idea, it's clear and straightforward, but practically sometimes it's not that easy.
Yes, I know sometimes it's not. But as a general idea, my suggestion is to try and skip the busy weeks. Maybe do your test the week before or the week after. But personally, I would prefer the week before, because in case of something happens, you can always have a, how can I say, a safety net to cover you, a safety net, una scialuppa di salvataggio, no, safety net sarebbe una rete di sicurezza, però loro lo usano, noi diremmo sì, come diremmo noi? Una scialuppa di salvataggio?
Way out, sì, diciamo sì, una via di uscita, way out.
Sì, una via di uscita, way out, exactly. So anyway, my suggestion was try to skip with your tests the busy weeks, because it's incredible how all teachers concentrate their tests in the same week. And plus the oral, of course, exams, tests, and as of course the homeworks. And sometimes there are periods in which I see children very, very stressed for all this. So why not try and anticipate your test or postpone it? But better anticipate, because you've got a safety net. So should something happen, and should you not be able to do it on the day you planned to do it, or should you have to repeat for some reason. For example, if half of the class or 3/4 of the class went very bad in the test, maybe you should consider repeating and revising the topic, because evidently there has been something not working well. So if you anticipate it, you've got a safety net, meaning you've got another possibility, a way out, in case you want to do it afterwards, you want to repeat it or something of the kind. So yeah, anybody else want to say something about it? Don't you want to add something?
In my school, there was a rule agreed by the council of the teachers, no more than one test per day.
Yes.
For each class. So in the register, you can write 1 week in advance. This time for the test in math, for example, another
Yes.
day in history, another day in Italian, and so on.
Exactly, that's what Barbara said, and Claudia is confirming it. But nevertheless, my idea was even one test per day. It means that each day they have to get ready for that test. Sometimes they have 2 tests per day, because one is a written test, but it counts as oral. Or maybe they have an oral interrogation, oral interview, and plus the usual homeworks. So even if it's only one per day, but day after day, plus the oral interviews, plus the homeworks, it's panting, and you know, it's a lot. It's a lot for a 12 or 13-year-old child. So yes, that was an idea.
I
Okay.
agree with you. I have some students that are good at school, but they told me that they study 6 or 7 hours a day, and it's not good. It's not good for them. They have also to practice sports, to relax, to read a book, the book they want to read. I suppose all of us love studying, because now we are teachers, but free time is life for all of us. So I was joking when I wrote I hate correcting tests, but we don't have to do 10 tests every term. We have to do the test we suppose are right for our class. So we can decide the quantity and the quality of the test. It's my opinion, but it is just my opinion. Just to not to stress our students.
Actually, I think that legally you need at least 3 written, 3 valuation on written tests and 2 on oral tests per term, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right, but it is not definite. It's not a fixed number. It's written in the PTOF, you know, the acronyms. It's written and it's in the school PTOF, il piano dell'offerta.
Yes.
And for us, it's 3 plus 2, as you said.
Okay.
For us, it's 2. For us, it's 2 written tests and 2 oral tests. So if every teacher respects this number, I think it's a good solution.
Yeah. Nevertheless, honestly, I think 2 and 2 is too little, because just imagine a child for some reason skip one. I don't know, he's ill or away or whatever, you know. That makes only one valuation.
We do it in another day, okay?
Okay, right. Okay. So yes, yeah.
But
Because
what happens if the boy isn't very good that day, if he had a headache, or I have some girls who have their problems in that
their
day, they
periods,
are not at the top.
yes, their periods or menstruations.
Yes. What happens?
Periods.
Okay.
Well,
What
personally, when I used to teach children, personally, my idea was keep in mind your aim. Your aim is not to give them a mark. Your aim is have your children learn these things. So if a test went bad, I would say, listen, this test is horrible. Look, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. This test could be evaluated maybe 3, 2, 4, whatever. So now I'll give it to you, take it home, study your mistakes, see why you made those mistakes, see what you should have written to make it correct. Any question, ask me, and the next week you're going to repeat the test, and I want you to reach at least 7, at least.
We do that.
And they
do that.
And they, sorry?
We do that.
Yes.
Not an idea, fact.
And they normally did much better the following time.
Apart
Yes.
from the fact that I'm not allowed, because it's a school regulation again, to give the tests home. Okay, I'm not allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed. And I won't do that, because when I did it, I had on a class of 20, I had 3 back and the other no. So I didn't have them back. So that's a kind of a problem. And it's very stressful to find out. Then I don't know where it is. Right. So there are official documents. There must be a school. Right. So we do that. We do revision in class. I normally correct the test in class, and I do like that. I established the Premio Volpe. The Premio Volpe is the smartest one. Who is the smart? Who is the winner? And I really, when I enter, who is the Premio Volpe this time? Okay. For instance, in the test, in the class, class 2, and I said, do not repeat the verbs in the second part. Who is the winner? The one who repeated all the verbs in the second part, of course. Okay, so that's a funny way to discuss mistakes with them, and I do use it with my kids, and they are eager. Who is the winner today? Yes. So that's really funny, and we work on that. Of course, we do. We correct the mistakes. Sometimes they're not really interested in correcting. They are much more interested in the mark itself, right? Oh, what did you get? And so I myself would skip marks, but I'm not allowed to do that.
Exactly. And you know what? When children evaluate a mark more than learning, they start to cheat and copy from the others and prepare, I don't know, notes. And, you know, they cheat because they want the mark. They're not interested in learning, and that's not good. So definitely, yes, marks should be abolished, I think, but since we cannot abolish them, do not give them too much importance. Also tell the parents not to give the marks too much importance. I mean, a bad mark doesn't mean your child is stupid. It only means that he hasn't understood this part of the program and needs to revise it and see what mistakes he made, and why are they wrong things, and how should he correct them. That's all. And but you know what, if you I gave them back the paper, even if I wasn't allowed to do that, because if you keep it, you have to register it. And once a 3 or any bad mark is registered, it makes, you know, it's part of the average mark at the end of the term. And so it's not easy to make up for a very bad mark. So that's why I simply gave the children the paper to bring at home, and the following time when they made it,
So
I pretended.
sorry, you did not consider as a test. You did not consider it as a test.
Not for those children.
But
And
you
the following time when they did the test with better results, I kept that as the official test. I know it's a little bit
tricky, definitely tricky.
Yes. Tricky, yes. Cook the books. Cook the books. That's what the English people would say. It's a way to cook the books, to cheat, it's a tricky way, but it was for them, you know, because if you keep the paper, it's an official thing.
Yeah, see, that's the point.
And you cannot cancel. You cannot not take into account the bad mark. So just pretend that the child couldn't do the test that day, maybe because he wasn't feeling well or something of the kind, and had to do it the following week.
Yeah, I will try. And also, I also tried something different, which was really nice, but it was really high demanding, time demanding. And so I'm too old now to keep up with that. And I made them correct each other's, okay? So I only marked you know, I only marked the mistake with the little red pen under a little sign, but I did not correct the mistakes. So I gave to other people the test, so change it. And I said, now you evaluate and then give it back to the owner. And the owner itself had to mark himself, okay? But it worked in a certain, well, it was really tricky again, because some kids are not able to evaluate themselves, okay, but because they are really fragile and so on. Some did a very nice job and they really appreciated it. But okay, it's tricky again with the class.
Yes, again, the idea is good, but then practically, what happens is that sometimes they support each other, so they pretend not to see the mistake, or they, I don't know, or they are not really able to give an objective evaluation of the test. So because other things like the friendship and so on play a greater role than an objective valuation of the test. So yes, ideally,
yes,
it's a good idea.
The biggest problem was that the good and average students could do that, I mean, correct the mistakes, but the fragile student could not. Okay, because they didn't see the mistakes. That's the point. Okay, so I had a hole in that part of the class, and it was difficult to keep up with that, to cope with that. But anyway, I will try again, because they like to self-evaluate. They like that, doing that, and so I'm when I can, I let them do that. Okay, this is your test, especially, you know, with, for instance, irregular verbs. That's easy, because or it is correct or it is wrong. Okay, so then when you go and check on the book, it is correct or it is wrong. So I say, okay, mark yourself, give yourself an evaluation. You got 80 on 90. Okay, how much is it? Well, okay, and so that's easy. And also it can work.
Yes, in those cases it works well, because either it's wrong or right, and it's easy. But for example, if they have to write something, I don't know.
Oh, yes, that's different. That's different.
Yes, they are not able to do it. Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to say goodbye, because I have to go due to my family. See you in
Thank you very much indeed for your help. Thank you, Adriana. As usual, you've been very useful. Where is Ashish? Bye. Bye. Okay, so yes, any other contribution? Don't you want to say something about the tests and the evaluation? Yes, as I told you, when children value marks more than learning, they started to cheat. And this is very bad. Quando danno un valore maggiore al voto che non al piacere di imparare, cominciano a imbrogliare perché vogliono il bel voto, non gliene importa niente se sanno o non sanno, vogliono il bel voto, e lì cominciamo con i foglietti, le copiare, which is really very bad.
I think sometimes it's our fault, maybe, because
Exactly. Sometimes it's our fault, or the parents as well, because the parents can be very, how can I say, yes, stressing on this. They can keep, what's your mark in English? What was your mark in that, you know, as if the mark is the essential thing. I know that for them, it's a way to understand how the children are going. But, you know, by putting so many stress on the mark, you know,
because sometimes I usually give their marks after the corrections, and they are always asking me, what's the mark, what did I take,
exactly.
and so on. I say always at the end of the lesson, because it is more important that for you to learn that I don't know, colors is spelled with an U and not without a U, for example, or
Yeah.
I don't know, I is written with a capital letter or else. But they insist on it. They always insist in watching the note instead of correcting their mistakes.
Yes. Anyway, color with a U is British English. Color without a U is American English. Yeah. So actually, both can be
good,
used.
but it was the first example.
As an example, yes. But yes, because, okay, on one side, the children need to know whether they are good or not, because it's a kind of self-evaluation more than their knowledge of the subject. They leave it as a personal, how can I say, evaluation about they themselves, you know, you're good or you're not good. So of course they try to, I don't know, understand their classification, if you know what I mean. But this can be very much exaggerated or, I don't know, made more important by the parents, by the behavior of the parents and of the teachers. And it shouldn't be, because the most important thing is the learning, not the mark. The mark is just a signal of, yes, you know this part, you can go on, or you don't know this part very well, you'd better repeat it or revise it before going on. That's all the meaning of the mark, you know, and they should understand it. So yes, I know that for the children that age, a good or a bad mark means a personal valuation about themselves, being able to do something or not being able to do something. So that's why they look so forward to the results, to understand whether they are good or not to do something. But yes, but it shouldn't be. So yeah.
That's why maybe we need more than 2 tests. You need to have a lot of marks.
Yes. Maybe you can give a small mark every day, every time you see them. Every time you see them.
Yes. I agree. And to consider also a lot of exercise and not tests. Yes.
Yes. Could be an idea, yes.
Yeah.
You know what? It's it can be very time consuming having to give a mark each child every time you see them, because you have to think about the mark, and sometimes it can be not objective enough if you don't have something, how can I say, physic to base your mark on. You might tend to evaluate better a person who you like than a person who I don't think you don't like, because but who maybe is
there are, we know it.
because so yes, in one way it's difficult and it's time consuming, but on the other side, yes, maybe there should be a little mark every maybe not for everyone, but 3-4 marks for children one day, 3-4 for so that to have a number of different marks, different evaluations, apart from the 2 or 3 official ones in your register at the end of the term, because yes, that might help. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes, for example, I give my students some extra homework so they can choose if do this type of work or not. And some of them, when they are free, choose to do this extra homework, and then I give them an evaluation. So they did something when they could, the best way.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I would say
An option.
always value extra work, because it gives them, you know, rewarding them for the extra work, gives them, how can I say, the spark to to do something extra, and this is very important, because they will not learn everything at school. And it's much better if they start to work by themselves and learn other things beyond, you know, the school. So yes.
Example, today we read a test about bonfire night. That was yesterday.
Yes.
And,
Oh, right, the 5th of November.
Yes, yesterday.
Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes. And I told them at 2 o'clock, if you like this story, please prepare, make a PowerPoint, choosing some pictures, some photos, and something interesting that you couldn't read here, and send it to me. And some of them sent it 1 hour ago. So in 3 hours, they
worked a lot, because
yes.
a PowerPoint requires quite a lot of time, you know, to be prepared. So,
but it was an extra homework, so they have to do now the obbligati, the forced homework, but they preferred to start with something extra that they appreciate.
Perfect. Absolutely, you have to reward them a lot. Reward, devi assolutamente gratificarli molto. Reward them a lot, because yes, they did something extra. And you know, with all their passion, and this is to be rewarded and taken into account. Maybe write a plus on the register or something. Show that.
Yes, I always give them plus when they do something more.
Yes,
So
extra. Yes.
Bonfire is still interesting, also for young generation.
Yes, it's funny. It's funny, and it's also important from a historical point of view, because the parliament in Britain is an institution untouchable for them. So, you know, this guy willing to blow it up, and you know, it's important both from a historical point of view, but at the same time, it can be fun, interesting in a funny way, you know. Yeah. And the bonfires and so on. Yeah. Is it 7 o'clock? Okay. I was told it's already 7 o'clock. See. Oh, no, it's not 7 o'clock yet. Okay, so.
Maria Pia, how?
Yes.
How can you speak Italian so well? What is the secret? You speak a very good Italian.
No, I am Italian.
Ah, you are Italian.
Yes.
In fact, your Italian is perfect. And I
Thank
couldn't
you.
understand
It's my
why.
English, which is not so good, probably.
No, your English is perfect too. But I was just wondering what was the secret of this language so perfect.
No, no, no. I am Italian, 100% Italian. I started studying English when I went to the secondary high school at the age of 15, and I attended accountancy, accountancy. So I only had 2 hours of English per week, and it was commercial English. So how to write commercial letters, these kind of things. So I really learned English at university, to be honest, because before that age, before I started university, I had done very little of English. So, and I'm 100% Italian.
You are lucky because I had a lot of problem about listening because I started learning English at university too, because I attended Liceo Maffei.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied Greek and Latin at Liceo Maffei, but it was very difficult for me
To catch the pronunciation.
improve my listening because I was old to learn a language.
Exactly, exactly. As a matter of fact, I had my daughter start English when she was a child, 2, 3. She went to university schools, and now she's much, much better than me. Lucky her. But I couldn't do that at my age. I would have liked to go to a secondary school where they taught languages, but I was living up in the Dolomites at that time, where I was born in Calalzo di Cadore, and I attended my secondary school, my secondary schools there, and the nearest language school was in Cortina, 1 hour by bus, and it was private by the Ursuline nuns, and so it costed a lot of money. I was the first of 3 sons of a family where my father was a worker and my mother housewife, so we couldn't afford it, no way. So I studied, I attended Ragioneria, which I liked because I love the law, economics, you know, these kind of things, very, very interesting. But my idea of studying languages was postponed to university. So I really studied, you know, learning English properly when I studied university. And it's a little bit too late, to be honest, but we do our best. Yes, but I'm Italian, definitely.
Per fortuna.
Yes, I'm happy to be, yes, I'm happy to be, yes. Yes. Yes, we have a lot of...
On the contrary, I am very good at listening, but I'm not good at speaking. I have a lot of problems with speaking.
Good. So exercise yourself. Talk to us.
No, I'm ashamed. No.
Why? You
because
shouldn't be
I can't remember the words, the pronunciation.
Yes, you can't remember you can't remember it the first time, and then you'll be told it, and the second time you will probably not be able to remember it again, and you'll be told it again, and the third time you will probably be able to remember it. So
Okay.
You know what?
Practice. We have to. I
Yes.
have to practice. Okay.
Yes, there's a saying, c'è un detto. In English, it's practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. È solo con la pratica che si arrivano a dei buoni risultati. So, Eliana, please talk to us. We want to listen to you. Not only you, everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Everybody makes mistake. Mistakes are essential to learn.
Yes,
It's a
no, I am sure I always make mistakes. I know, I'm aware.
Up to now, I couldn't catch any mistake. But anyway, even if you had made mistakes, which you haven't, but even if you had, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Mistakes are essential to learn. They are an essential part to go on and with the learning. So, I mean, it's natural to make mistakes when you are learning something. So don't you worry about your mistakes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, making mistakes is a stage. Then you stop making those mistakes and make others, but it doesn't matter because then you will learn better and stop making those and start with others.
Yeah.
Everything works like this, you know.
Yes, in life, it's always
yes,
this way.
in life, in science, in everything, you know.
Yeah.
You try, see it doesn't work, try something else, it doesn't work. Oh my God, try again. And, you know, trying and trying, you reach perfection. So,
yeah.
really, in any field, basically, any subject in life. Okay, somebody else wants to say something else? Does anybody else want to say something else?
I would ask you if you all live in Verona.
No, I was born in Calalzo di Cadore, where I lived till the age of 18, yes, till the end of the secondary school. Then I went to university in Venice, languages at Ca' Foscari. I lived in Venice for 4 years and a half. When I graduated in languages, English and Japanese, I had to choose where to go to live. And I didn't want to go back to Calalzo because there are beautiful, wonderful places to go on holiday, but to live in death. It's death, è la morte. So I won a scholarship to go to Ireland because I had graduated with a thesis on an Irish author, Sean O'Fallon, and I got a scholarship to go to Ireland. I went there, I went in Dublin for 2 months, and I could stay there. But if I stayed there for a master 2 years, I know myself, I'm not sure I would have come back to Italy again. And I already had a boyfriend at the time, who's still with us, who's still my partner. And he doesn't speak a word of English. He would never have come to Ireland with me. So he said, go on with your studies, Maria Pia. He was very kind, but I thought, Maria Pia, be honest. If you go to Ireland for 2 years, that means you're probably not coming back to Italy. And so I felt I had to make a choice. And I thought, I'll stay with Angelo. And I told him, I'm not going to Ireland. I'll stay with you, but I don't want to live in Calalzo. I don't like Calalzo. It's a wonderful place to go on holiday, but I don't want to spend my life there. And so he said, okay, where do you want to go? And I said, somewhere in Italy. And I thought, I liked Verona very much. I think Verona would be a good place to live in. So he said, okay, let it be Verona then. And so I came to Verona. I looked for a job here. I passed both the exams to become a guide, a tourist guide, and the exams to become a teacher. So I've got 2 jobs now. Okay, not now in this period because of the COVID, I'm not working as a guide anymore, but normally I've got 2 jobs as a guide of the city and as a teacher, and I love both of them. And in time, I'm very lucky, I know, I'm very lucky.
Yes, you are.
And in time, my partner, Angelo, came down to Verona and we settled here. We bought a house, a flat here. And I've been living in Verona for 30, wait a second, I graduated in 1987 and I immediately came to Verona. So how many years? I don't know, 33 years by now. I've been living in Verona for 33 years by now. And not a regret. I'm very happy about it. Really. No, nessun rimpianto.
Very good.
Sono felice. I love Verona. I love living here. I'm happy to, living in Italy. Ireland is fantastic to go on holiday. Again, because again, there's nothing much to do there. Okay, Dublin is a big city, but apart from Dublin, it's a little bit out of the world, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
and the weather. I remember walking in Dublin Park under the rain, that little rain, typical of Irish rain, typical of Ireland. And I was walking there, looking around and thinking, wow, this place must be beautiful in summer.
I thought the same thing.
Summer! Oh my God! I hadn't even realized it was summer. And I thought, no, I can't spend the winter here.
I've been thinking the same things about Verona.
Because you are from Puglia, aren't you?
Yes. Because I live in the south of Puglia.
Me too, because even if I come from the north of Italy, nevertheless, our winters are very sunny. There's snow, it's cold, but it's sunny.
Yes.
Here it's foggy and misty.
Yes, it's gray. Every day was gray.
I know.
I've lived there for 5 years. And it was very sad for me.
But the city is so warm and so nice.
It's wonderful, but I think
you wouldn't be able to
live there. No, forever. No.
Not
I love Verona. I go there every time I can. I have a lot of friends, but I cannot live there. No.
Yes, it's part of you, of course.
Yes.
And that's how I felt about Ireland too, you know. On the contrary, my daughter spent 1 year in Ireland, her 4th year of secondary school. And she went there from the end of August all through the school year till the beginning of June, which means winter time. She woke up in the morning with the dark and came back from school in the dark. Because of course we are much northern there, like Finland and Norway, northern countries. In wintertime, the nights are very long and the light hours very short. On the contrary, in summer, the light hours are very long, the days are very long, and the nights are very short.
Is she still depressed?
No, she liked. She said said she likes the rain, and she liked, you know, this atmosphere, and she, but that was for 1 year. Even I wouldn't be able to live there for 1 year, but you know, maybe in the long term, 3-4 years, she would have started to to suffer from it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So
And
yes, it's something inside you.
Yes, yes. I spent 2 years when I was a student in Sevilla, in Spain, and it was hard for me to come back. But my boyfriend, that now is my husband, was here. He never came to visit me. So
2 years.
2
and he
years.
never came.
Yeah.
Come on, Spain, and then Sevilla. It's so nice.
That
Sevilla.
was sunny, hot, beautiful. Yeah.
Very hot in summertime.
Yes.
And you can go to ski on the, what is it, the Nevada?
Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Nevada, thank you, near there, yes.
No, he doesn't
It's a wonderful
like.
place, Sevilla.
Yes, of course.
We stayed there for 3 weeks. 1 year we home swapped. We often home swap. Facciamo scambio casa. So
Okay.
a Spanish family came in our house, and we went to their house in Sevilla for 3 weeks. And it was a wonderful holiday. And yes, yeah. But I mean, Sevilla, yes, I know. Are you happy having come back to Italy, or do you miss
Yes, I'm very
Spain?
happy. Yes.
Don't you miss Spain?
Sometimes, well, I miss my age when I was.
Yes.
Thinking now what I would have done there in that period. Yes, I miss something. Yes, you.
You miss your youth.
That's right. Yes.
Well, of course, yes.
But I'm happy. I'm happy to be in Italy.
Yes, yeah. Anybody else wanted to tell us something about their lives? Are you all from Verona? Ivo is from Adria. Where did you say?
Yes, in province of Rovigo.
Rovigo, sorry, yes.
Rovigo, but is a little village between Rovigo and Adria.
Okay. Yes. Have you always lived there?
Yes, but I lived for 6 years in Modena and 2 years in Milan, and because of work.
Yes.
And some job placement in Ireland, in Limerick, I remember.
Limerick.
Yes, the university. And through the European project with Stefano and the other colleagues.
You traveled here and there.
Yes, in Spain, in Lithuania,
yes.
Cyprus, and so on.
Fantastic. Fantastic. What did you do in Limerick?
It was a course, special course about CLIL, how to teach different subjects in English.
Using English, yes.
2 weeks. It was very interesting for me.
So you went there as a student, basically.
A student. I was already teacher.
Okay.
History and philosophy.
But, a kind of master.
It was for improvement of my language. Okay.
And yes, yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And what about Milan? Were you okay in Milan, coming from a small village near Adria?
It was not so easy, but I remember it was my work. It was at a public a public office of Corte dei Conti, and in the center of the town. And I lived near Sesto San Giovanni at the north of Milan. But it was plenty of time in work, and
you were too busy working.
And no concert, no sports, no.
What's the point in being?
It was very hard.
Yes. What's the point in being in such a lively city as Milan if then you have no time to do anything?
Yeah.
What's the point?
This is the problem.
TS Milan, when you have no time.
Okay, I have to go.
Okay,
So,
yes.
leave. Thanks.
Thanks to you, Barbara. Thanks to you.
Thanks. See you
to
next time. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Is it already 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. I never realized time.
That's because it was interesting. Shall we go on next time? Can we go on with this?
Okay.
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you very
Yes,
much.
if you want to,
Also speak
we can do whatever you want to. We can do whatever you want to.
And about the civics, educazione civica.
About, sorry?
Educazione civica, yes, civics.
Oh, okay, civic education.
Could be a,
Yes.
a topic, maybe.
Yep.
And
All
about telling about holidays or anything.
Okay, whatever you
bye-bye.
want to.
I have
Bye, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thank you very
Bye.
much. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao a
everyone.
tutti.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.